Our Thank you. Our next speaker is Sushanta Kumar Nayak, Department of Economics, Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, India. Professor Sushanta Kumar Nayak currently serves as a professor in the Department of Economics at Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, with a distinguished career spanning over 30 years. His educational qualification includes MA, MPhil, and Ph.D. degrees. Professor Nayak's academy has published more than 50 journal papers and edited books, displaying expertise acknowledged by the Government of India and other reputable entities. His involvement in guiding PhD candidate is substantial, having successfully awarded 6 doctorates and mentoring 5 others in the progress. He has also served as the head of the Department of Economics and also served as Dean of Faculty of Social Science at Rajiv Gandhi University. Professor Nayak's involvement in pivotal projects such as studies commissioned by the Commission of India and the Government of Arunachal Pradesh underscores his contribution to state finance study and policy. Professor Nayak's scholarly contributions extend to his involvement in preparing reports for the Planning Commission, Government of India, including chapters on the state finance, economic institutions, and education in Arunachal Pradesh. His commitment to academia, coupled with the robust administrative track record, reflects a dedication to advancing economic research and policy formulation and academic excellence. With this, I welcome Professor Sushanta Kumar Nayak. May I request Professor Sushanta Kumar Nayak to start his presentation?
Thank you, Professor Shrikant. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. So should I hand over? Just a minute. Yes, I have handed over.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Shrikant, for giving this opportunity, sharing some of my thoughts related to provision of schooling facilities in the hilly region of the country. Let me share my screen. Please. Okay. Thank you all for giving this opportunity. Now, after listening to the talk delivered by Professor Herman and Dr. Pusti, what I understand, Professor Herman gave details about the evolution of economic thought, starting from classical to new classical phase, and he talked about the role of the market also. Then Dr. Pusti talked about something related with this local area development, how to make the best use of the locally available resource to enhance the human welfare. So after listening to those 2 lectures, here I'll be very pinpoint. My area of research is related to the school education and the state finance, particularly in the provisioning of the social goods. Now, it is the study is basically concentrated to the northeast region of India, and here, if we see the northeast region, it is we have got 8 states. We have Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura. So these states are known as the northeastern states, northeastern region of India. And over the period of time, these area are is particularly they are lagging behind in the development pace of the country. When a planner see the area, it is very difficult to understand what this area represents. First characteristics of this area is that this is a hilly terrain, except a few states like Assam and Tripura. Assam, around 80% of the land mass is plain, and in Tripura also. But other states like Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Sikkim, these states are basically the hilly states. And if I take these states like Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram, around 90% of the area is hilly. Now, because of these geographical characteristics, if you see the population, this population, if you the uh, total population of this northeastern region, it is around 4.5 crores. Around approximately, if you can see, they're comparable with the total population of this Odisha and little bit more than that. But if you see the population density, the second column that talks about the population density of different states, here we can see the Arunachal Pradesh, the population density is only 70. That is only 17% they are staying in 1 square kilometer of area. But so that is the thinly population state, thinly populated. And rest of the states, and if we can compare it with the all India average, then at the all India average, the population density is 382. But if you see these other states that mean the rest of the states in Northeast, except Assam and Tripura, none of the state is comparable with all India average. They are much more below than the national average. Then you can see this sex ratio, that is the gender ratio of the population. There also we can sorry. Okay, all right. At the all India level, per 1,000 male, you have only 940 female. And if you see the sex ratio of the northeastern region, they are better than the all India average. That means the gender inequality is not there, except you can say Sikkim. Then the literacy rate also, some of the states are below the national average and some of the states are above the national average. This is the basic characteristics of the northeastern region of India. Now, if you see the next slide, because of the hilly terrain, the population distribution of the entire northeast, it is also different. The concentration of population that talks about, that means when people are concentrated in a particular area, then it is very easy for the state, for the government to provide the basic facilities. Now, if you see the population with less than 500 villages, then in Arunachal Pradesh, it is only 58% of the population. In Assam, it is only 8%. And at the all India average, it is only 5%. But if you see the 5,000 plus population, that village or city you can take, then you'll have a different kind of situation. In Northeast, the very less population, they stay in less than 5,000. So the population distribution is given like this. And this is because of the hilly region of the area. because of the hilly situation, the state it is very difficult. It is very difficult on the part of the state to provide the quality social service like education and the health to the population. Now, keeping the next slide, I have highlighted how the state, it means the different states they are facing in providing, that means in spending in education sector particularly. If you take Arunachal Pradesh, it is around per capita expenditure in the education sector, it is 13,000 plus. But at the national level, it is less, but that figure is missing in the slide. It is at the national level, Arunachal Pradesh is spending higher than that. And in the plain area, plain states like Assam, in Assam, the state is spending only 4,800 rupees per capita, but Arunachal Pradesh is spending a huge amount. Then Mizoram is spending a huge amount. Then Nagaland is also spending a huge amount. Sikkim is also spending a huge amount. Now, given this data, people might say that the state are spending huge amount in per capita terms in providing education service. But the real problem lies here is that it is because of the geographical disability, they have to spend a huge amount in per capita terms in providing school education. Now, if you see the next thing, the education scenario in the Northeast, almost all states, they may, except Arunachal Pradesh, they have comparable literacy rate. Literacy rate, both in male and female, they are comparable with all India average. So, but some of the states are above the national average and some of the states are below the national average. For example, Arunachal Pradesh and only Arunachal Pradesh and including Assam also, they have literacy rate less than the national average, but many states have the literacy rate above average, and Mizoram is one of the highly literate state in India. Then, if you see the and including literacy, then the gross enrollment ratio at the primary and upper primary level, it is more than 100% in some of the states. For example, in Arunachal Pradesh, it is 130, in Manipur, it is 120. So, why this kind of thing are emerging out is that when the population is, because of the hilly characteristics of the region, the children, they are not able to go to the school at a lesser age. So if you compute the gross enrollment ratio in a particular age group, you'll have more children as compared to the total population of that age group. And that is the reason why the gross enrollment ratio is more than 100 in some of the states, particularly in the hilly states like Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, then Nagaland, then Sikkim, and Tripura. But in the plain area, the gross enrollment ratio in case of Assam, it is less than 100, and it is comparable with the national average. So after that, we can see what are the other things that are happening, that is in the outcome side of the schooling facilities, provisioning of the schooling. In the secondary and higher secondary level also, there is a reverse trend we are observing. You can say at the all India level, the gross enrollment ratio in the higher secondary level, it is only 56%, but in all the, that means excluding a few, that is of course Meghalaya and some of the states, and Meghalaya and Nagaland, the gross enrollment ratio at the higher secondary level is higher than the national average. And same is the case with the secondary education. Now, the dropout rate also, it is higher in the hilly region as compared to the national average. For example, your Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Mizoram dropout rate is quite less, but these states, the first 1 to 4 states, they have the dropout rate. It is a higher figure than the national average. Now, how the state is providing the schooling facility, particularly in the hilly region, this table will give a different kind of analysis. Number of population per school, if you take, it is quite less in Arunachal Pradesh, in Assam, in Manipur, in Meghalaya, in Mizoram, in Nagaland, that is less than the national average. But area served per school, it is quite high in some of the states like Arunachal Pradesh, and it is that means it is around 27%, much more higher than the national average. And so rest of the states, there you can say it is comparable. That means Assam, it is basically a plain state, and that is comparable with the national average. Then in Manipur, it is higher than the national average, and the Mizoram, it is also higher than the national average. And Nagaland, it is also higher than the national average, like that. Now the point is that the geographical situation of the state that determines how the state is providing the schooling facility to its population. So this particular table indicates that. Then we have distribution of the population and the area for primary school. If you see the all India average, number of population per school, it is 915. But in case of Arunachal Pradesh, it is much more. It is 1/3 of the national average, 357 population per school. But area served per school, it is much more higher than the national average of 2.92. That is 27.28. That is the case of Arunachal Pradesh, 5.8 in the case of Manipur, and 8.36 in the case of Mizoram, then 6.59 in the case of Nagaland, and 6.47 in the case of Sikkim, like that. And some of the states, they have the comparable picture with the national average. Now here, again, the same idea goes on, that is the states which have a very difficult geographical terrain, they are facing the acute shortage of the schools, as well as that means, and that is the region where the area per school, area served per school, it is quite high in the case of the states, particularly in the hilly area. Then teachers, they are the input variables in the schooling system. Population per teacher, number of population served per teacher by one teacher. That is quite less in the case of Arunachal Pradesh, that is a hilly area. But at the national average, 149 population is being served per teacher. But in the hilly, that is the geographically difficult area, population served is quite less per teacher. Same is the case with area per teacher also. Then if we can see distribution of the school total students, sorry, this is here I am just missing it, that means it is not clear. Student per school, that is also quite less in the hilly area. In the national average, it is 133 number of students per school, but in the hilly states like Arunachal Pradesh, in Manipur, in Meghalaya, you have a less number of students are there per school, but at the all India average is quite high. Same of the case with the number of students per primary teacher. That means the teacher student ratio. In the hilly area, it is quite less, but at the national average, it is quite high. This is the point. Now, given all these things, we need to see what is the outcome of the schooling system in the Northeast region, because our system of education is quite different. We are just imposing our national level framework with the local area, what my previous speaker talked about. And that is the reason why when we are giving the schooling facility, the school, these teachers, everything. But what is the outcome? You see the outcome at different age group, what is the percentage of children who can read standard 2 level of text? That is, this data is taken from the this from this survey. That particular thing I cannot tell you right now. I don't recall it. But to the Government of India statistics, that means in the age group 14 to 16, only 62% of the children in, that means it is all these things you take in Arunachal Pradesh, 62% they can read standard 2 level of text for the population of the children 14 to 16. In Assam 66, but at the national level is only 76. That means around 23% of the children in the age group 14 to 16, they are not able to read the standard 2 level text. And the situation is quite critical in the hill area. For example, the Arunachal Pradesh, only 62% they can read. That means the children in the age group 14 to 16. Then we can see the basic arithmetic ability. It is also quite, it is, that means it is not that satisfactory. In Arunachal Pradesh, in the age group 14 to 16, 70% they can do this simple subtraction. That means if you take the age group of children 14 to 16, but at the national average, it is quite again very, very. It is a poor picture. That is only 66% of the children they can do this simple subtraction. Then, if you can say the basic arithmetic ability, the situation is quite different here. That means it is same as that subtraction, but here very less population they are able to do some arithmetic ability. That means simple division they can do, only 43%. So the point is that around 50% of the children, if you take the national average, and it is quite high in the case of hilly region, they cannot do simple arithmetic ability like division. Now, then if you see this type of tendency, then I have a simple hunch that our education policy is not taking into consideration the local area, local resources, local brain that are available, and we are imposing a different kind of educational framework with the children, and that is the reason why they are not coming up the way they should. And our national, the national education policy that was that came to us in the year 2020 talks about the the education from below. That means from the local level idea, local level knowledge, the students should be taught, and then only we can grow, then only we can develop. And the idea of vocal for local, that idea has come up from the Government of India, and that is being implemented, particularly in the education sector. That means the education in the local language, not in foreign language. That is a must in order to educate our entire mass and to develop in a holistic way. With this idea, with these statistics and some of the ideas, I conclude my talk. And we have a paper on this particular in this particular area, and that is already published also. And with this idea, with these simple ideas, I stop my presentation.